Poor Zangief, he's about to witness my mix-ups. Now it's time to go overhead. And now for my ultimate technique, the deadly shimmy.
Profound sadness.
Street Fighter 6 is what the kids these days call a strike-throw game. This means that the main mix-up on offense is, are you gonna throw your opponent or are you gonna go for the hit? And obviously the objective is to break down your opponent defenses. Today we're gonna talk all about the different strategies that you can use on offense to break down their defense. But before we do that, we have to set up some ground rules. We're not gonna talk about like save jumps or anything that's really complicated. This is just basic offense. We're also not going to talk about command grabs because that is a totally different animal. And thirdly and most importantly, before you start rotating your option and playing all of this mental gymnastics, you need to know what type of players you're going against. You need to assess your opponent. Is your opponent rotating their defenses? Are they thinking or are they just flow charting? And at that point, pick up whatever works and keep doing it until you are done. So let's start first with probably the most commonly used offensive sequence in Street Fighter 6, and that is rapid firing your light attacks. Light attacks in general in Street Fighter 6 are negative on block, but you can still use them to frame trap your opponent if you cancel one of them into another. You're pretty much doing them as a chain, right? As this is a relatively safe way to pressure an opponent. Most characters will get 3 lights before they're out of range to continue on with their pressure. This idea got some merits because it will beat them if they're trying to go for a button or if they're trying to go for an immediate throw tech. However, it is kind of limiting as well because after 3 turns you will pretty much be out of range. You reset to the neutral, and if they're going for a delay tech or a delay button, they will be able to remain safe, block your sequence, and just be safe in general. It's a good safe sequence, but it's not that rewarding and it's not that committal either. The next very powerful offensive strategy that you want to go for is jab, medium, or jab, delay, jab, and this is very effective. The idea here is, like I said multiple times, jabs are negative on block, so your medium is coming out even slower. This technique is very effective against players that like to delay tech or delay button because you're leaving a big intentional gap in your offense, so their throw startup or their button startup will come out and then you will get the counter hit on them. Obviously this is more of a read, this is some offensive sequence that got some risk to it, but it can potentially be very rewarding as well, and it works against delay button and delay tech, so that is just beautiful. Now this obviously does lose to immediate reversal light mashing and instant throw tech as well. And what about opponents who just simply like to walk back away from your pressure? And especially Street Fighter 5 players, they absolutely love holding back with no regard to down back whatsoever. And for that, we have got to use low shakes. I'm talking about rapid fire sequences with something like standing jab, crouching light kick, standing jab, and these are amazing if the opponents like to walk back a lot. You can also go for a crouching medium kick type check, especially if you got plus frame. So for example, a character like Bison, you go for a back heavy kick, his knee, this move is plus, and then you go for a crouching medium kick to catch them trying to walk back. This is very effective. It's something that you have to throw out against all opponents because this is a really big tell on their defensive habits. Sorry for the interruption. I have never really done one of these before, but as you probably noticed, recently I've been trying really hard to upgrade my content, make it the most fun that it can be, and I hope that you really appreciate that. So if you do and you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot, right? And it will make Chun-Li over there really happy, and we all want a happy Chun-Li, right? Enjoy the rest of your video. Type of offensive strategy that is very effective is staggered pressure. Say that you're a Chun-Li player. Let's welcome Joe and his Chun-Li. Hey Chun-Li, I feel like I missed you last video. You didn't show up. Chun-Li's the best. Anyway, say that you are using Chun-Li. Chun-Li got the standing medium punch, which is plus on blocks. This move is +1, and because of it, most of your opponents will be kinda hesitant trying to press after they block it, because they know that you can frame trap them with relative ease. Now, this will allow you to use stagger pressure. You press like standing medium punch, walk up a little bit, another standing medium punch, walk up a little bit, another standing medium punch, etc. This is very good against players who try to play reactively. Players who, for example, will wait until they see you walk forward and then try to throw tech or press a jab. They're trying to guess, but make it like as a reaction to your offensive sequences. So against these players, stagger pressure can work fantastically well. You can even use it as some sort of like cheese tactic. Like say you do 2 lights on block and then walk up a little bit and then press like a medium or another light. Against the reactive type, stagger pressure is typically very strong. Up, we got everyone's favorite offensive tool, and that is the shimmies. And shimmies can be very rewarding in this game. The idea of the shimmy is you thread the throw and then you kind of walk back to make them whiff their throw tech, and then you get the combo on them. Typically it's really like a punish counter, so you can get really high damage. From my experience, shimmies work best when the opponent actually get hit. So after a move like Bison Scissor Kick on hit, it is very strong to use as that instant, because most people will take out of habit. You need to convince your opponent that you got a throw game, that you're willing to throw them to get them to tech, right? But shimmying does have a couple of issues. It's very rewarding, but it does have a couple of issues. If they're trying to jump, they can like neutral jump or back jump, especially if you're cornered, and catch you trying to go for like the tick punish. If they are going for delay buttons, typically they will take over their turn and your offensive pressure is pretty much gone. So it is an offensive strategy that can be very rewarding, but also it does have a lot of risk, and it can easily turn the tables against you as well. So kind of be careful with this one. And finally, we got to talk about spacing traps, because spacing traps are probably the most commonly used offensive sequences, especially at high level. The idea is you set up a spacing using a sequence of buttons where you know that if the opponent tries to take back their turn, your next button will auto wave punish them, or you space it so that it's very enticing for them to take back their turn, and then you get the wave punish on them. Check out this M Bison sequence, for example. Against a character like Jamie, he can't really punish the light kick scissors in this sequence, so if he tries to take back his turn, the crouching medium punch auto whiff punishes. The same for a character like Manon. If Ken is trying to take back his turn with a crouching medium kick, her crouching medium punch will get the whiff punish on him, and these sequences are very commonly used in high level. I really highly suggest you look them up, look up your top players, check it out in training mode, try to come up with some sequences, because these can be really effective. Obviously, one thing that you got to keep in mind is that with many of these, you can go for a special cancel, a move that will pretty much be used for frame traps, kind of like a Hashogeki or a Ken Jinrai. These moves are very commonly used to keep your offense going. Or you can go for a drive rush, and out of the drive rush, you can go for a grab, you can go for a delay button, go for a low shake, go for most of the options I just mentioned, right? The idea here is you wanna keep rotating your option. You wanna keep your opponent guessing on defense, not knowing what you might go for. But if they don't play that game, if they're constantly going for one defensive answer, will keep abusing the offensive answer I mentioned that beat their answer. And that's about it for today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.